hosts, the Bay Area Brawler, Skylar Greenberg, and your Colonial champion, Sean McCoy. Welcome to the Court-Martail Podcast.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, cats, dogs, parakeets, all sorts of animals, flora and fauna alike. Welcome to the Court-Martail Podcast, the podcast made by wrestling fans for wrestling fans, and we are here today to review Elimination Chamber with vigor, with passion, and with utmost sincerity, by three people who love this and everything about professional wrestling. I mean, it is absolutely flawless material that we're working with, but if that were really true, we wouldn't really have a podcast. I am your Colonial champion, Sean McCarty, here to bring you all of the action, question mark, of the Elimination Chamber, but I am not here alone, as the giggling in the background has very clearly indicated. But let me start with the person to my immediate left. He is the man of the hour, the man with the power. He is too sweet to be sour. He is the Bay Area Brawler himself, Skylar Greenberg. Tell him why you're happy. And that deep, sad groan was a deep, sad groan that is weighted in 6 figures of gold. So you know it's worth its weight.
Please, somebody put me out of my misery.
For a meaningful salary.
You know how, like, I have my intro where it's me taking an entire wine bottle and shoving it down my throat and drinking it because the news is terrible?
Yeah, you're going to have to switch it to Hennessy now because you make so much money. Have I mentioned that before?
Forget Hennessy. We're drinking the whole goddamn wine barrel.
You know what? I will find a way to edit that to where you're drinking the entire cask, like a wood barrel, bourbon barrel of it, and we will have that for the... And that's the news. The news is, oh God, Skylar can't give the news. He's drank a whole barrel of bourbon. What is your poison, by the way?
Daniels. Leave me be.
Is that what you like? Is that your preferred alcohol of choice? I don't know if we ever talked about this on the program.
We can talk about it another time when I actually have something I want to talk about.
Which alcohol would probably make more interesting. But speaking of more interesting, we have one more person to introduce on this program who is eagerly waiting a solid 3 minutes during his own podcast to introduce his own podcast. Take it away, JoshAgeddon.
As the non-alcoholic of the three of us, welcome to the totally awesome podcast, the totally alcoholic podcast, apparently, where this podcast is so bad, just like the show we're about to talk about, it'll drive you to drink. My name's JoshAgeddon, joined with these two lovely goobers to my right and left. Also, I'm eating. This isn't my...
Hold on. Bullshit. Joshua, have you had a baptism?
Yes.
I would imagine
so.
Well,
you were in the blood of Jesus, and the blood of Jesus is like wine. So you are an alcoholic, you jerk.
That's true. Any water you've drank could have been wine at one point.
Theological differences notwithstanding, I'm also introducing my new gimmick, which is me eating supper as we do podcasts. Now I'm having spaghetti.
Some form of pasta going down your throat. That's what we're doing.
I like jamming noodles down my esophagus. Leave me alone.
I like phrasing that differently, but yes, I do also engage in that activity from time to time. But speaking of jamming things down our gullets, Elimination Chamber 2026. 1 year ago, WWE, as the Titanic, hit its iceberg. And it has been steadily sinking since.
1 year ago, they jumped the shark, and when they landed on the iceberg.
Well, I mean, considering the circumstances, wouldn't it be they hit the rock?
Haha.
No,
the rock wasn't there.
Well, there are a lot of actual glacier rocks that are in glaciers. I mean, Connecticut is full of them from when the glaciers melted from the Ice Age. So there is some truth to that, Skylar. So an iceberg could have
talking
rock
about
in
your
it.
local Connecticut politician. Ayo.
Can you smell what it's cooking? I'm not sure, but you know what? I'm not that upset that we have not seen him since. So,
well, yeah. Honestly, that's the one thing about this quote-unquote road to WrestleMania this year that I am kind of fond of. We haven't heard anything about Douanier.
Yes, thankfully, no Douanier. But, at this point, I'm not even sure if that would help or hurt. Because it is just, well, let's just get to the overall reactions. Elimination Chamber 2026, you could talk about it in a vacuum. You could talk about it on a podcast. What were your overall thoughts, Skylar?
How can you get tired of a gimmick match if you've only seen it once a year?
Because we've seen it once a year forever.
Triple H is about to give you a good example of how.
I mean, this is the problem with all the gimmick matches. I'm tired of the Rumble, which is sad because the Rumble is my favorite match. Like the Chamber, the Money in the Bank, the ladder matches. I mean, some of it is the other company's fault. Fuck you, AEW. But
for existing.
how do you make the Chamber look less dangerous than a children's playground?
I know it's for safety and whatnot and less injuries, which WWE less injuries. That's funny.
Lost.
I miss the old Chamber where it actually felt kind of dangerous.
Yeah, I miss the original Chamber.
Mm-hmm.
The OG Chamber, the one that was people got juice in it. And it mattered. And Triple H reigned terror in for fucking ever.
Yeah.
And the thing about this show is 3/4 of this show. Well, first of all, I have to give my complete disclaimer. I'm watching all of these shows at 1.5 speed. I will not watch them. At this point, I will not watch them at regular speed because it's so much milk that you can actually get a pretty quality show at 1.5 speed where you can hear the crowd come up if they come up. And you can still get all the crowd reactions necessary. You don't lose a whole lot as far as, seeing small pieces of technique. Because, that would be the one thing I would worry about. You'd think that some of the fast stuff is too fast. It's really not in WWE. I don't know if this theory would work with AEW. But at least...
I mean, they're already at 1.5 speed.
That's what I mean.
What would be the difference?
That's what I mean. But in any case... The 3/4 of this show for what I skipped ahead and the 1.5 speed, I actually really liked. And then the last hour showed up and it kind of exposed what all of the problems with WWE currently are in a nutshell.
Yep.
But I had a lot of fun up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
So, JoshAgeddon, do you have any more just general thoughts on Elimination Chamber? I know you mentioned a few things, but I don't know if we got to your specific broad stroke.
I watched the show at 1 speed, so that was my mistake. Before I even get to this show, can I just say that this quote-unquote road to WrestleMania has been the most sterile, lifeless, uninteresting, ho-hum, whatever, nothing happening road to WrestleMania, in years. The Royal Rumble was fine. The Chamber was fine. Literally the only thing that even vaguely felt we're getting close to WrestleMania was the CM Punk Roman Reigns promo from a couple weeks ago.
You know what the irony of that is I would say this is probably the worst build for WrestleMania since the last time Reigns won the Royal Rumble in 2015. Because that WrestleMania slapped, but the build-up to that WrestleMania was god awful.
This one isn't awful. It's just nothing is happening.
Well, that's just it.
No, Josh, again, do you cut them any slack given the injuries that happened to both Rollins and Breakker, ruining one of their potential main events?
And Bronson Reed.
Somewhat, but at the same time, maybe don't reduce the amount of house shows because people need their reps. So, just saying.
Well, okay. Seth Rollins' injury happened because he did a stupid move he shouldn't have.
True.
And Braun Breaker's injury happened because he was doing a spot with a table.
Well, he was injured before that, and the table just made it worse.
But that's the thing, though, is that, like, he injured himself on a fluke. Here's the thing. Injuries, like anything else in sports or whatever, some of them are flukes. And sometimes flukes happen, like what happened with Braun Breaker. Yeah. It's the ones that can be prevented but happen anyways because you're stupid, a la Seth Rollins, that you can't forgive.
All I'm going to say is the vision is obscured. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking blurry at this point. And they're going to need to go see Dr. Stevie as but well, we saw Abyss, so who's to say? But
so like
the worst part is that they own TNA, so they could actually show that video of Dr. Stevie drugging Abyss.
And like one thing that I've noticed is like everyone has been clowning on this show, just like basically everyone clowned on the Rumble and everyone clowned on Survivor Series. It's becoming a pattern, and the crowds over the past several weeks have just been quiet. Like if you told me that this was Chicago and I didn't know, I wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah, this crowd was uncharacteristically ass on this night, I thought.
Well, look at what they're watching.
Well, see, that's a sad thing, though. I thought that a lot of the people tonight tried really hard. It's just
Sean, also, the crowd is also watching at one speed.
And also being bombarded with an unstoppable wave of advertisements that I had the convenience of fast-forwarding. Yo-ho, yo-ho.
But honestly, for Elimination Chamber, I thought it was fine.
I'm surprised the chamber itself didn't have ads on it.
Don't give them ideas.
You know, I'll take the Dodge Ram logo. At least that's something masculine. I like that logo over the Prime Bottle logo or all the Riyadh stuff, even though it was still there.
But yeah, I thought this show was fine. Kind of like how I thought the Royal Rumble was fine. Kind of like how I thought Survivor Series was fine. I want a WWE show that's something other than fine.
Well, here's the thing, though. You could get god-awful.
I would take that at this point, because just a show that's just like, at a point, I'm like, I'm so bored. Why am I watching this? Either be really good or really bad. This in the middle, like like ESPN gave the show a C for every pay-per-view, is getting so dull and boring.
Well, because it's the truth, because there is a lot of laurel resting going on right now, because everything is so cookie cutter, cut and print, paint by numbers, the same angles, the same way, executed by the same people half the time. And it's just, there's only so much. And then they post Unreal, which exposes that the people who are writing this don't even know where they're going with it. And it's at the point now where it's like, I don't know. I don't know what to make of this show, except that it just exists. And WWE shouldn't...
WWE right now is in a perpetual state of just existing.
It shouldn't feel zombified. You know, and that's the way it feels right now, where there's no life in it. And Vince, say what you want about Vince and his garbage, at least it was passionate garbage.
Dude,
no, let's hear something about something right now before we even go into it. No, bringing back Vince is not the answer.
No.
Shut up, IWC.
Dude, imagine Vince in 2026 would be even worse than what we're watching now.
I am honestly relieved that he was not in the box. I half expected him to be in the box. But
the only other reveal worse than what we actually got. But please, no Vince McMahon, fuck you.
No, absolutely not. No Vince.
No, I don't want him back. If I'm advocating for earlier, pre-Triple H things, I'm just saying it more as a point of comparison, not because I have any interest in seeing the man's work return. No, thank you. That is a heaping no thank you.
The way things are going right now, he's dealing with another car crash incident. We don't need any more issues with that.
Hey, it's his granddaughter's birthday. So
go 115 miles per hour.
And on the Merritt Parkway, which is by far the shittiest highway on earth, fight me on it. I don't care. It is the crappiest. Trust me, I have been on it. I hate it. And Connecticut's known for its garbage drivers. He said Vince is not alone in Connecticut. Trust me on that. And that highway is like the worst of the bunch. So
Vince saw Vince saw Steve Austin crash the ATV last year at WrestleMania and was like, bet.
But here's the thing, though, Sean. I think we should allow Joshua to talk about the open of this show.
Go for it. I don't know what it was, because I went straight to the women opening of the women's chamber.
What it was.
No, I don't. I really don't.
Joshua, do it.
The women's chamber?
No, the Triple H thing.
Oh, I skipped that.
Yeah, Skyler,
so basically
gonna have
Triple
to
H
be
said
you.
it was a new era.
Oh, that.
Oh, what a surprise.
And every 5 minutes is a new era. Like Monday Night Raw is about to start. That's probably going to be the start of a brand new era. There was someone actually on Twitter not too long ago that actually like had a graph of all the different WWE eras. And it was like, the golden era, the new generation era, the attitude era, the ruthless aggression. Once we got like past like 2020, it's like there was like more like colors than graph. Like it was like the Richter scale was going insane by the end of the graph. So Triple H, at this point, I feel like he's either absolutely gone insane, has thrown up his hands in frustration, and is just like, fuck it, whatever, I don't care anymore, or is just trolling everyone, or all three at the same time.
You also could have dementia.
All four at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll talk about that kind of towards the end of the show. But I do think that Triple H should do some of those press conferences or opening things in a new era store and wearing snapbacks and a different snapback every time. Because I think that if he's going to at least make some money on advertising saying new era, at least do what you do, which is money grab to absolute obliteratory scales. Mm-hmm. But speaking of obliteration, or at least the concept therein, it's the Women's Elimination Chamber, which, by God, gentlemen, I must say I quite enjoyed watching this year.
Me too. It was the better of the two chamber matches. Which
I was thoroughly sports entertained.
Well, okay, guys, the women had the better Rumble match, and now they had the better chamber match. What is happening, guys? Can we step up our game, please? And also, it just feels like there's no wrestling booker alive that cares about women's wrestling. You can kind of tell. But at the same time, I feel like that's a hindrance to the men, because what Triple H is more involved with is more of a giant mess. So I think the women are actually benefiting from him not caring as much about them, if you know what I mean. Like...
Yeah, I don't know, because they get a lot of fucking airtime.
Yeah.
They get a lot of airtime. How many Raw main events have been women over the past 6 months?
How many Raws have been 3/4 women?
That's what I'm saying. It's like, and they're, no disrespect, but they're wondering why they're struggling to sell WrestleMania tickets. And, yeah. I mean, and to be fair, it's not like the men are doing themselves favors either. Because Triple H is trying to cram 6 angles into one match. We'll get to that. And
6 angles we've already seen 6 different times on the same show.
Yes. So it's at a situational point where it's not the women's ubiquity that's really the problem here. But it's not helping it's not helping as much as they want it to either. Anyway, let's talk about how much we like this match that involved women.
Yes.
The first thing I wrote down is, will anything make me divert attention from my tacos?
See.
And no sooner had I said that than I swear to God, like a war flashback. Because Michael Cole, as they showed Jade Cargill up in the rafters going, hey, I'm here, posing in front of nobody who could see her, but posing and going, hey, I'm champ, I'm waiting for who it's gonna be. And then Michael Cole said, and I quote, the awe-striking presence of a storm. And I'm like, Cole, you put that Vince McMahon script down right now. You set that down.
Michael Cole was not on his A game tonight.
No, he was not. Nobody was. No one who had a microphone was on their game tonight. We will get to that.
Joshua, replace the word tonight with years.
You're not wrong, but it was especially rough on Elimination Chamber.
Michael Cole should have just retired after WrestleMania. And I'm not talking about 41, I'm talking about 40. He should have just retired the night after.
Yeah, I agree. He's...
Sadly, I think that would have taken away from Cody's moment, though. He would have had to do it after SummerSlam or something.
No, I said the night after Mania.
Yeah, but Cody was still doing a gigantic victory lap at that point. Cody Rhodes was taking...
I'm going to do it 2 weeks after. Who cares? Just get Michael Cole off of my commentary.
And replace him with who?
I don't care.
But you would care, though. As soon as somebody came and was ass, you would care. I'm not saying that Cole's the greatest thing ever. Trust me. I have a lot of shit I wrote down from him that I was not happy with. But at the same point, are there any good commentators?
Corey Graves, Wade Barrett, Joe Tessitore booth. I don't care.
No. Minus Joe Tessa.
No, Joe Tessitore, please.
No, Joe Tessa boring.
See, that's my point, though. Is like Cole. Yes. Does Cole suck? Yes. Should Cole retire? Yes. Who of any quality is going to replace him right now?
At least Cole has a pulse. Unlike Joe Tessitore.
Yeah. As it's I mean, golf commentary is more engaging than Joe Tessitore.
Joe Tessitore's commentary has the passion of this product right now.
Joe Tessitore's reaction, or Joe Tessitore's diction, has about as much passion as the fans had when Asuka came out.
Yeah.
Which was nothing. Like, beyond zero. I almost felt bad for Asuka.
You say almost, but that does imply something.
Well, this podcast was founded on my disdain for Asuka, and to be fair, I've softened a lot on her in recent years because she hasn't been as relevant and been the third wheel, even though she was champion for a whole calendar year. She was the third wheel in an angle where she actively defended the title, but
I remember that.
Yeah, that was so ridiculous. And then the Kiana James comes out, and seeing her implants makes me think that there was some sort of fake titty quotient, which is why Charlotte's not also in this match.
Okay.
Like the chamber has to have some sort of buoyancy quota that Kiana James had to that clearly filled, and that's why that's why they were in a qualifying match together.
In all fairness, the second she walked out, the first thing that I said and thought was, "Ooh, titties." And two, I'm actually really starting to like Kiana James, and not just because of her tits. She's actually turning out to be pretty decent. She was good in the Royal Rumble, and she was pretty good in this match as well.
She's got some personality.
Mm-hmm.
She's not just a pair of boobs. You know,
not to mention, how long were we complaining about the women's roster not having new faces? Like, get some fresh blood in all these divisions and on commentary, and you'd have something.
She needs music, though. She whatever her theme is, it's not music, but she needs music at all.
Josh, again, 90% of the roster needs music.
I'm aware. I'm just saying.
And we would find out.
Pin down one person and say your theme song sucks when all the theme songs suck.
All but maybe 10 people have passable entrance music.
And most of those were made 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So
I would like to point out that the three best songs are actually real songs by real artists, i.e. Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and CM Punk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I don't like how they it's like every time CM Punk is gone for a while and comes back, his Cult of Personality theme is just remixed just a tad more.
Yeah,
but it's still it's an actual song or based on a real song rather than the random collection of noises and music that Def Rebel made.
Yeah, it's still a better love story than Twilight. I agree.
Fuck off! Fuck you with your stupid early 2000s internet meme.
Hey, the first Twilight movie is not bad.
I wouldn't know.
Joshua, it was arguably the worst one.
I haven't seen any of them.
The rest of the franchise is bad. The first movie's not.
Take it from a person who read the first book.
I have not, so I don't care. But the first movie had a low budget, and the whole thing was like blue saturated colors, and it was like in the pocket, and then it made so much money that they decided to venture outside the pocket, and then only really horny 30-year-old moms went to fill the theaters. Fun fact, my first ever date with a woman was to see Twilight Eclipse when I was in middle school. So I guess she wasn't a woman. If she was a woman, then that'd be concerning, but she was a girl.
Editor, put the Super Jam Session intro in here.
Anyway,
all right, well, subscribe to that for more movie review. We got a lot of movie reviews on that channel, so I think that was apropos. Maybe we'll review the Twilight movies one day, boys. That'll be fun.
Oh, we should. We absolutely should, just to torment Skylar.
In comes Tiffany
And it'll be more
Stratton.
interesting than this match.
Well,
yeah.
maybe. Tiffany Stratton.
Look. What does Alexa Bliss do?
Well,
like, be honest with me. What does she do?
we begged to have her back for the longest time.
I can't believe I'm saying this. Liv Morgan's a better Alexa Bliss than Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Well, it used to be.
Alexa Bliss also had a baby, and Dom hasn't put one in Liv Morgan yet.
They're not even a real couple. God damn it.
That you know of.
That you know of.
But anyway.
Tom literally got married to the... Oh,
Shout out to Tom's wife.
Shout out to Dominic's wife, by the way. But
whoever she is, she's not on TV.
Well, Tiffany Stratton is in the ring, and she did a nice handspring dodge, I thought. Asuka comes in third. I'm really broad stroking here. So stop me anytime if you want to point anything out. Asuka third, Bliss is fourth. Did you notice that they have CCTVs on the Elimination Chamber inside it itself now?
Yes, and I actually kind of like that, although they could have smaller cameras.
Yeah,
so
but why weren't they doing that before?
No, remember they did it for the past couple years. They had the camera inside the chamber.
Yeah, but I feel like they could have probably done that whole setup years ago. We could have had better camera shots for those way before now.
Speaking of better camera shots, which is something we didn't have on the show, Lee Fitting is slowly morphing into Kevin Dunn. There was a part where I forget. I think it was Asuka was just going crazy. Asuka and a Japanese lady who screamed. She was slamming people's heads against the chamber pods, and Lee Fitting started doing the zoom in, zoom out really fast thing, and I wanted to vomit and murder him.
Now here's the question: is that him, or is that the direct that he's being told to be given?
All I know is he didn't used to do that. Lee Fitting, that's not your gimmick. That's the Beaver's gimmick. You're not a Beaver. At least I hope you're not. Stop doing that.
Well, I'm just convinced now that it's the style of production that they want to do, and he's the one that has to do it. It's kind of like how the restaurant employee has to go clean up the bathroom. He doesn't want to do it, but he has to.
It doesn't matter who's in charge. The WWE will always be WWE. They'll always, whenever someone's getting smacked into something, the camera's going to zoom in and zoom out really fast until someone in the audience throws up.
Spoken like a true Pizza Hut delivery driver that doesn't have to clean the bathroom.
That is true, and I refuse. I'll clean up my own mess, thank you very much, and get stuck in a customer's yard.
So Rhea comes in fifth, and she's more over than the entire match.
Which is why she won, by the way. Everyone whining about Rhea Ripley winning. Shut up. She's a star. She's literally one of the few women in all of professional wrestling that anyone cares about. And her catalog of WrestleMania matches are really fucking good.
She is the women's division. Sorry.
She is the women's division.
She is.
Honestly, if you call her Rhea Hogan at this point, Like, stop watching. Like, go watch some other show. Go watch some other sport. Like, watch something else.
Well, to be fair, I think Rhea's been more consistently liked than Hulk Hogan at this point, and has been on top of the division. You know, well, I guess that's not technically true because Hogan was like WrestleMania 1 to 9. So Rhea's got 3 more WrestleManias before she gets to that point. But in any case,
yeah, but the difference is that like I don't think half the population wants to be fucked by Hulk Hogan compared to Rhea Ripley.
Well,
Especially not now.
Well. What is it with you and dead people jokes? You tell the same joke every time about them. Oh, well, they're dead, so they don't want to be doing it. Like, what is with you with that? It's the same joke every time.
Last time.
You did. No, it's delivered the same way. Are you in a black hoodie right now? Come clean, dude. Are you in a black hoodie?
I'm gonna be necrophiling them up anyway.
Are you about to curb stop Austin Theory and injure him?
Maybe, perhaps. The vision will be blind at this point.
Is it you? Oh, God. Well, the chamber door's open, so do whatever the fuck you want. Anyway, we'll get to that later. There's a really good exchange between Alexa Bliss and Rhea that culminates in Alexa Bliss using the cage to stop a riptide.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Although, I will say, Alexa, for whatever reason, was having a lot of trouble, like, properly hooking people for the Sister Abigail. Like, she kept, like...
The Sister Abigail? I love the Sister Abigail. I love the Sister Abigail.
Dude, I'm tired. I have insomnia. Leave me alone. But the way she was, like, hooking, like, under their... Like, she's supposed to hook around the throat and under the head. She was hooking, like, inverted with her arm, like, around the head, cradling them the opposite direction. I'm like, Alexa, what are you doing?
To be fair, that is one of the most difficult moves to do.
True.
Well,
but then she's been doing it for years, so what's her excuse?
Yeah, there is no excuse. But then she hit a Twisted Bliss to all of y'all's, which was nice.
Okay, this is one thing I actually liked about Kiana James. And another issue I have with Lee Fitting, like he focused on them like getting into position for way too long. Although to be fair, they were trying to like fight like into position, like at least like try to make it look convincing.
Yeah.
Lee Fitting could have just cut the camera to Alexa a little bit quicker.
Yeah, it's not like that ladder match.
When she did the Twisted Bliss, I know it's not the ladder match with
Nikki Ash. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that's immediately what I thought of when you were saying, like, not moving, like, just the camera of them just waddling into position. I'm sorry, go ahead.
If you're going to interrupt me with traumatic memories.
You're welcome. You do that to me all the time. That's our friendship.
I will say I appreciate that Kiana was like, I'm the farthest away, and she didn't touch me, so I'm not going to take a bump. Good on you, Kiana James, for not taking a bump from nothing.
But that's what they're supposed to do. No matter how far away you are, the shockwave of the collapse of the mountain is supposed to...
how about this for trauma? It wasn't like Jeff Hardy and Jinder Mahal.
That is one of my favorites ever. I sometimes go back and watch that.
Gust of wind. It wasn't the whisper in the wind. It was the gust of wind that knocked him down.
Yes, that was almost like when Scott Steiner slammed Christian's head into the steel steps, and then Christian took the head slap like onto it, and it's Well, but in any case, they're really trying to get Raquel Rodriguez to look more like an imposing gigantus. And it's kind of working. It's kind of working.
I still struggle to care about her at all, but I do like... Okay, first, I love the running power slam through the pod door. I loved that.
That was awesome.
Yes.
And the double pin I thought was actually kind of cool, too. They never do stuff like that. So,
the double elimination was cool. But again, Raquel is a terrible giant because she's so terrified of hurting people. That was the most gentle Tejana bomb I have ever seen in my life. She was like, I want to look imposing, but I don't want to crush Kiana for real or break Asuka's neck for real. So, boop, double pin.
See, that's the thing is that, could you imagine if Raquel Rodriguez's body was used by Nia Jax? Just Nia Jax, no care, no regard, reckless energy in Raquel's body. Like, that would be a perfect giantess.
Now we're reaching the point where we're saying at least Nia hurts people.
At least Nia Jax intends to cause damage.
Well,
right. That's why I can't take Raquel seriously. She, like, no matter what she does, she always looks pants-shittingly horrified of accidentally hurting the other person.
well, I wish that somebody would hurt Michael Cole, though, because right after that double pin, right after the, because not too long after that, there's, Rhea is what the fuck did I write down here? Rhea dives from the top of the pod onto Raquel, and then there's the PME that pins Raquel, and Michael Cole gets into the, well, if you want to text your smash pass, then I fuck your smash pass, and fuck your ad in the middle of this. Don't you dare give me an ad read in the middle of a chamber match ever again, Michael Cole.
That stuck out at me like the
oh man, I wanted to slap him. Oh, I was so annoyed at that.
I was like, why? After a cool spot in a major elimination,
aren't there enough fucking ads on this fucking show? Like,
that is everything wrong with WWE right there.
I used 4 lines of loose leaf to say fuck your smash pass. That's how carved into the paper it was.
Yeah, I don't blame. I will say I thought that Rhea doing the senton on Raquel, who was on the top rope, I thought that was actually really cool. It was a very unique chamber spot that I haven't seen before, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, there was a lot of cool stuff in this. I will say it is kind of jarring to see Tiffany Stratton wearing, like, dark colors.
Yeah, it was, and her hair was kind of like half blonde, half dark. Like, it was like darkish, dirty blonde, kind of.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
I didn't say I disliked it. It was just weird. But I did love that cartwheel Alabama slam that she did. That was awesome.
Yes.
And then the right ending with the right result, I thought.
Yeah.
And Mark Nash cries for Rhea Ripley.
And also, this began the running one of the running gimmicks of the show. Like, every match ended up with someone having a busted lip.
Well, it's that time of season. I have a split lip. I'm having a stroke. I have a split lip myself these days. Go ahead, JoshAgeddon.
Yeah, because Tiffany, I don't know if she got like bopped in the nose or had a busted lip, because she got some juice, and even though the match was already almost over, it did add to it at the very end. So yeah, I enjoyed this. I didn't think it was amazing, but I thought it was a good start to the show.
Anything to add, Skylorg?
This is the thing, is that, like, without all the shenaniganery that was happening later in the night, the women's match was just allowed to breathe and be its own thing. And the one thing I will say, despite the fact that I may be giving crap to Asuka or Alexa Bliss, the women are trying hard to impress because they know that this is their big chance. They have to keep up with the men and outperform them in order to, keep getting these spots and justifying their spots.
What you just said was they just let the match be a match. Can we have more of that, please? Just let the match be a fucking match. That right there is why the women's match was better automatically, because they just let it be a match.
Well, if you had actually had any sort of creativity involving your angles so you wouldn't have to jam it all into one show, into one match, then maybe you wouldn't have had to be in that position. You could have let the match just be a match. So,
but Sean, I have to do the same angle you've already seen 30 times in the same match.
Maybe you just need to do a little bit better fucking planning, even though you have these people go down. Injuries be damned. You need to have some backup plans. For fuck's sake. But
may I answer your joke with another joke?
Indeed.
Again, from The Simpsons. Am I out of touch? No, it's the children that are wrong.
Editor, put that in.
So out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong.
All right.
You guys don't watch The Simpsons, and I hate that.
I don't.
I basically just reuse my memory banks of Simpsons to do quotes for my gaming channel, which, by the way, while we're on the subtle plug, check out the White Knux OG channel, which airs games including Pokemon Red and Fire Red, and Wally for PS2. I've done Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. Sometimes Abizzle's on it. We're playing Guns, Gore, and Cannoli. I've got my friend Korean Jesus who's about to come be on the show, so stay tuned for that. And we're playing a game called Kitten Squad, made by PETA. It's all sorts of fun, all sorts of games, all sorts of mayhem. White Knux OG. Trust me, we're having fun. Why don't you? You son of a bitch.
That link is somewhere in the description. If you find it, you can click on it.
That's right.
Why the heck do you criticize Michael Cole for an ad read, but then do an ad read?
At least he waited until we were done talking about the match. If he started going into that, like, in the middle of us, like, before you get to the next elimination, I have to tell you about White Knux OG. Like, so he did, at least he waited.
And now,
that is a fair point, Joshua.
And now let's head over to the crowd of 5 to 10 people all wearing White Knux OG t-shirts as they all just look at each other and yell awkwardly like, yay, we're merchandising. And then let's cut to the next shot.
Why does this table have White Knux OG written on it?
You don't know how much I paid for that. But
if I could do that on my show, I would.
But I will say this, though. One final thing about this women's chamber. They had Rhea point to the sign, and no sooner had she pointed to the sign than they immediately cut to a shot of the pyro right behind her. So they missed the shot of her actually pointing at the sign and then cut back to it later. Lee, we don't care. We understand if the pyro's going off, that pyro's going off. We don't need to see it. Get the shot you wanted. Like, what the fuck?
Did you know that this show is run by morons?
Like, it didn't always used to be. I think there's some sort of WWE brain rot that affects people from the top and just seeps from within. And that brain rot seepage is not a fun time.
It took about 1.5 years for it to really, like, settle in.
Yeah. Well, it's rampant now. I miss
2024 when they were just carriers.
I know. Yeah, back when they were asymptomatic. But now,
why didn't you get the shot?
But now the cordyceps are taking hold. Well, they might have been the last of us, but in any case, let's move on.
I was about to say, I wonder, now it makes sense why there's an uptick of maxed people on the show.
Yeah. Well,
you had to go with the pun. God damn it.
Well, let's move on to the first round of Chicago versus Ireland. As it is Becky Lynch defending her Intercontinental Championship against AJ Lee.
Or as Michael Cole would call her, AJ Styles.
Did he say that?
Yeah, when they were doing the in-ring introductions after Mark Nash said AJ
I skipped
Lee.
those.
Yeah. You missed Michael Cole calling AJ Lee AJ Styles.
I did miss that.
Cole.
But
I wish that I did.
Yeah, that's okay. He did worse anyway. Skylar, I believe that there is a certain bit that you have been keeping up with in regards to both Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Would you like to take that away?
I don't have anything for this one.
Well,
On this episode of What the Fuck is Becky Lynch Wearing?
Okay, listen. Somebody burnt Patrick Starr and made him into a jacket for Becky.
Becky, Cruella DeVille killed dogs, not starfish. What are you doing?
Yes. What
if that was her gimmick, just her wearing the skin of Nickelodeon characters? I mean, her hair is orange, so...
I will break all of your children's hearts, and I will wear all of your children's characters.
Dude, come out wearing wear Danny Phantom's.
Oh,
skin
that's
on
that's
the
classic.
please.
She wears like literally a bluey jacket at SummerSlam.
Come out with a thing that looks like a pile of shit on your head. You're cosplaying as Jimmy Neutron. Seth Rollins would be Goddard.
Comes out as Catman one day. No, that'd be Seth. Seth would have to come out as Catman.
Oh God. If they ever have another mixed tag, they'll be Cat Dog, and I have no idea which one will be Cat, and I don't have no idea which one will be Dog.
If they come out with a unisuit where one of them is crawling on their hands forward and one of them is crawling on their hands backward, then we have completely lost the plot, and they'll be facing like the Lucha Brothers too, on top of all that.
I just have a question. Like, what does Becky Lynch have up her lime green sleeves?
Green sleeves were my heart's desire. As
I was watching this show.
That is a known Irish tune.
Even my mom was like, "What is she wearing?" And I was like, "Okay, you are losing your casual sensibilities, Mom. You're becoming one of us."
Yeah. Well,
yeah, but that's the gimmick, is that she wears something really ridiculously stupid, and then she takes it off and wears something even more ridiculously stupid. Like, how does that help in your wrestling match to have long sleeves?
At least she hasn't dressed like a tumor or a vagina yet, looks at Seth Rollins.
You have the answer, Joshua, is that Seth Rollins will dress as the vagina and Becky Lynch will dress as the dick.
And they'll come out interconnected.
Sadly, you just reminded me of All In with Joey Ryan and all the dick druids facing Adam Page.
Oh, God.
Which was the stupidest thing on the face of the earth, but seeing all of those penises on either side of the aisleway like they're Taker druid. That was, yeah. Thanks for that memory back.
Let the record show that we went from talking about Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee to druid penises.
Well,
in the span of about 2 minutes. How did we get here?
Well,
that was because of this edition of What the Fuck is Becky Lynch Wearing? Thank you very much.
Yes.
Sponsored by whatever costume company she uses.
Sponsored by White Knux OG.
That's right. Link is in the description.
You're sponsoring everything.
Well, that's right. Well, the funny thing is I could have 2 more channels to plug before the night's out. We already got SJS out of the way. We already got White Knux OG out of the way. Stay tuned, folks. There's more. But wait, there's more.
How many more advertisements are we going to do just like WWE?
I'm going to put the logo of both SJS and White Knux on the thumbnail of this video now.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, here's what I'll say about this match. I liked it.
Here's what I will say about this match. It was fine, although the finish was very sloppy.
I like this match, and I'm glad that the social messaging from AJ Lee was not anywhere to be seen.
She's great when her mouth is shut.
Joshua, out of context, that's not very good.
That is an audio clip right there. She's great when her mouth is shut. Well, I want to make that my ringtone. Just call me while I'm in the middle of work.
I'm not gonna lie, like, that's something that a bro once told me when he had sex with a girl. Like, he hated her voice, but she had such a banging body.
Well,
so Becky Lynch versus AJ Styles.
We got a collar and elbow tie-up. And then the next thing I wrote down was actually about the women's ref bump. So I said the rest of the match was good. And that's really all I could say about it. I mean, was there any spots that I could particularly say, ooh, that was cool? Not really. It was a good wrestling match. They did back and forth stuff.
What I noticed that made my jaw drop a little was when Wade Barrett said, I've had a singles match more recently than AJ Lee. And I was like, there's no way that's correct. Holy crap. He had a singles match in like 2016 and it's been like 2015-ish. He's had AJ beat by like a year. That's crazy.
Yeah. And
but I thought that even though AJ Lee hasn't had a singles match in a while, I thought she looked pretty good. Her and Becky worked pretty well together. And things didn't get sloppy until we got to the end of the match, which we'll get to in a second.
In literally a second. Is there anything about the meat of this match you want to talk about, Sky?
Again, you are not coming to this podcast for play-by-play blows-up wrestling matches. We're telling you our thoughts. Go watch the match yourselves, and then do the thing where you actually listen to us talk about it.
Yeah.
Or do what they do with the Cornette podcast. Watch us while the match is playing. Like, we'll be the new commentary track.
No, more what the Cornette podcast does now is Jim going, I didn't watch it. Brian accosting Jim for not watching it, and then Brian going, I was right from the beginning about everything. Anyway, that's a different rant for a different time. But that's yeah. So it was nice to see a ref bump for a change in a women's match.
Well, that's why they hired female referees, so they can do female ref bumps. Listen, we're getting equality all over this place.
And this particular referee, Jessica Carr, has been training to be a wrestler for a while anyway. So, and they've been going at it with her and Becky and anyway. So this was like, I feel like they did try to get her knocked down the first time and it didn't quite work. So they went with something else to really knock her down the second time. But
can I just say, by the way, Jessica Carr, my nominee for best female wrestler, for best female referee.
Okay, but who's the competition?
Yeah, that isn't competition.
That's kind of my point. The horse in AEW is not very good. And I can't remember what the black lady, her name is, that's the female referee. She's there. Jessica Carr is really good.
She is. And she's been there for a while, too. She was WWE's first female referee, I believe.
No, they hired Aubrey Ed before they hired her.
WWE?
Yeah.
Yep.
And where is she now?
AEW.
Okay, there we go.
She's in the horse's stable full of horse
Yes,
manure.
but go back and watch the Mae Young Classic. She was the referee for that.
Oh, I don't count that. That's non-canon. All of that is non-canon. That's filler arc
and she
episodes.
She also did some stuff in NXT before they let her go because she was not good.
Filler arc. Filler arcs. This is 3 unnecessary seasons of your favorite anime. Pick one, folks. I'm sure you have opinions about it.
This is the Garlic Jr. saga at the beginning of season 4 of Dragon Ball Z before the Android saga starts.
Told you had opinions about it.
Indeed.
Anyway, so Becky gets a chair, and instead of just using it on AJ Lee away from the referee, she puts it in the ring towards the referee because it was necessary for the finish, but it didn't really make any sense from a brain perspective. It's like, wouldn't you want to hit somebody away from the referee? Because if you're doing something illegal, why would you put the illegal thing closer to the referee where she has a better chance of seeing it even though she's hurt? I don't, why? Help me. Help me.
No. You figure this mess. You got yourself into this mess. You can crawl out of it yourself.
Well, he roped me into this.
What about me? He roped me into this. Well, that one over there roped me into this.
My problem with this was the DDT, quote unquote, on the chair, missed the chair.
That happened a lot on this show.
So we threw the chair in the ring for some reason instead of just whacking her with it while the referee is down. Like, seriously, like, just do what CIW does. Just beat the shit out of the referee and hit them with a chair outside the ring. It's a game of, can I do this before the referee can get back up? Don't throw it back into the ring just to miss the DDT on the chair. So that was stupid. Told you the finish was sloppy. Then we had the manhandle Uragi slam. Isn't that right?
Fuck you.
And we got a pretty solid near fall out of that. But the sloppiness did not stop there. Okay, they were all right. So basically, the idea was AJ is like, "Oh, I'm groggy. I'm in front of the exposed turnbuckle. I hope nothing happens." And like Becky was gonna ram her face first into it, and the referee was like, "No, don't do that. Not legal. No, don't do that." And then they fought a little bit. It was supposed to be AJ Lee dodging, and then Becky goes face first into the turnbuckle, but they mistimed it, and they were like, "Let's pretend that didn't happen and try it again." And this time, AJ Lee moved out of the way too quickly, and there was no one there for a solid second.
So she had to jump and then hit it herself.
Becky was like, that's a nice turnbuckle right there. It'd be a shame if I headbutted it really hard. And then she like very awkwardly staggered and fed into the Black Widow that AJ Lee had barely hooked in, and Becky was already tapping. So yay, I guess. That finish was very sloppy.
Good idea, not great execution.
Yeah.
The idea was good. But that was kind of a finish with a difficulty of 10 and an execution of 5 rather than the other way around.
Yeah, it was not great.
But
everything else was good, though.
I still enjoyed the match, actually. Like, even still, I was actually kind of able to forgive it because I was enjoyed enough of the match to not care at that point. But there was still, I mean, it's a women's match. It's a Becky women's match. And
it's a women's match. There's going to be sloppy shit.
You know.
Well, even beyond that, like, we have seen Becky Lynch wrestle for over 15 years. No, longer. We've been watching Becky Lynch wrestle for a long time. She is a formulaic person, to say the least. Again, it is what it is. I don't want to see it no more. I'm tired of it.
Well, she's going to be wrestling a referee possibly at WrestleMania, Skylar. Be looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, the sad thing...
Are they actually going to do Jessica Carr versus Becky Lynch at Mania?
I'd rather see that than Becky and AJ Styles again.
Listen, AJ Styles had to do that last retirement tour match. What are you talking about?
Well, maybe AJ Styles can wrestle Javon Williams, but we're not there yet.
Dude, no one was on their A game on this.
But
show.
we're not there yet.
But remember when Michael Cole called Javon Evans Kofi Kingston?
This poor guy. This poor fucking
I have a
guy.
question. Is that racist?
So the next match was
the fact that you're dodging it that quickly says everything I need to know.
Should we start a movement?
AJ Styles dodged Becky Lynch going into that corner. I dodged it a little too quickly.
Somebody put out a hashtag. Somebody put out a hashtag. Yeah, anyway.
Dear God.
It's the Movement-saurus. Anyway, it's a quality change. It's time for Chicago versus Ireland, Part 2. Fuck R-Truth and his Papa John's bullshit. I'm not even addressing it any further than that.
I skipped that too.
But
not only do we have ad reads in the middle of matches, we also have instructions for how our stupid fans that have the brains the size of walnuts can easily use the app because they're stupid. Have we mentioned they're stupid?
But we want their money.
That too.
They're stupid rich is what I'm saying. Anyway, it's CM.
Also, I miss when R-Truth was serious for like 10 seconds. That was fun.
10 good seconds.
Yeah.
10 quality
and now
seconds.
His comedy gimmick is about to be replaced.
Well, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Or he might have found a new tag team partner.
CM.
No.
Well, we're getting there, folks.
You don't want to watch Truthhausen?
Can we please talk about the quality before we get there? You were hurting me before I have to be hurt.
What, you want a Yabu?
I do.
Yeah,
I want to cheer the fact that Yabu was in this match and how much I liked it. And it might be my favorite.
For those who are wondering, by the way, it's CM Punk defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Finn Balor.
This was the best thing on the show.
This might be my favorite Balor match ever.
I did think that their match on Raw a couple weeks ago, I thought it was a little bit better than this, but this was still very good.
I liked that one too. I like that one very much as well. It does, you know, Punk did the thing with Chicago sports and, you know, the Michael Jordan and the basketball and the ring announcer, and that was cool. And it didn't get the pop that I expected it was going to.
Story of the show.
Well,
Guys, come on. Let's call it for what it is. The Chicago Bulls are 40 years old. God damn it, get a new sports dynasty, or at least reference something that people have seen. Do you know how many people that are not alive that have watched the Chicago Bulls in their prime?
I can think of someone that is alive that has never watched the Chicago Bulls ever.
well, speaking of Bulls, I have to do a quick charge of my pants. I have to change the track real quick. Okay, we're back, everybody. As I hope
He left the call, but he came back.
That's right.
So clearly you two need to watch fucking Space Jam, and we'll do that during our next Super Jam session.
That's
Literally the thing that we named our auxiliary third tertiary podcast channel, and you guys didn't know what the fuck it was.
the 24/7 championships of our YouTube channel.
Folks, without the context, the Court-Martail podcast people are going to be wicked confused when they come back from break and hear you motherfuckers haven't heard Space Jam, and they're not going to know what the hell we were talking about, folks. But anyway, let's get back to CM Punk versus Finn Balor. We get a collar and elbow tie-up that made me happy, and immediately once they started doing exchanges, I'm like, oh, wrestling's happening here. Okay, great. Let's take a look. And
yeah, did you watch this match at regular speed or 1.5?
Oh no, listen. It is no disrespect to any of the wrestlers involved, but the milk to action ratio it's not your fault. It's a formatting problem. It's a bad formatting problem, but the milk to action ratio is so bad, I cannot do it. So, but having said that, I still loved this match because they took their time with it, but you still were engaged the entire time through. Mm-hmm. You know, and God, Finn Balor has the best body punch in wrestling.
He does. He also has tremendous abs. Good Lord.
Yeah, you seem to mention that every time that we have a Finn Balor match.
Well,
so.
I'm a thirsty guy, and he's not a very tall glass of water, but he's still a glass of water.
With a couple of ice cubes.
My girlfriend...
Do we call him a shot glass then?
My girlfriend, Autumn, I hope you're enjoying this part of the podcast.
Wait, hold on, Joshua. Which girlfriend?
I just said it's the season, Autumn.
No, here's the funny thing for the folks that don't know. Since the Royal Rumble, Joshua has had 3 girlfriends.
No, just 2.
No, 3.
4.
I'm calling you a man whore, yes.
You're correct.
Wow.
The discomfort from Connecticut right now is hilarious.
Well, you know, I kind of feel like I am CM Punk and Finn Balor who both get knocked down, but I must admit I miss double knockout counts. When both guys are down and the referee looks at one and looks at the other and goes, 1, and then looks at one and looks at the other and goes, 2. It was just something to get the crowd into doing something to keep them alive, and that's gone because they're just like looking at him.
Dude, every time, like I watched Extreme Rules 2010 the other day, and there were matches where they did both guys are down, so I'm going to start counting, and I'm like, oh my God, I now that I've noticed it, I can't unsee it.
I miss it so much. I
It was
miss
such
it.
a little that. Why?
It's
Probably because the fans would do something stupid to ruin the match.
No, you know who ruined all of that shit? Ty Dillinger. He ruined it for everybody because everybody just did 10 all the fucking time, and it soured. It must have soured Vince on it. And then that was one of those things that he went complete, like, shut it down in his brain, like, that's the problem. And so they just never did that anymore after that.
Good job, fans, and good job, Ty Dillinger.
So
It's not Ty Dillinger's fault that his gimmick got over.
I bet he wishes he got over.
it's good. Actually, you know whose fault that is? That's Triple H's fault because that's where he got it. So here we are. Balor's Eye of the Hurricane always looks so great.
He's the only person that can do a convincing sling blade.
I used to hate this guy's wrestling, but man, as now that he's allowed to actually do him more, I've really started to appreciate Yabu, and the Yabuing is still funny as hell to me.
Yes, it is. Although at one point he did a sling blade, and my mom said, "Did he just do an RKO?" And I was like, "Mom, no, he didn't." That caused me pain. Thanks, Mom. I love you very much. Thanks for the spaghetti.
Well, speaking of spaghetti, we get a coup de grace KO. I'm skipping a lot here, so stop me if I'm going too far.
Okay. This actually brings me to probably my favorite thing on the entire show. Speaking of catching people in midair, Finn Balor goes for the coup de grace, and I don't know how CM Punk raises his leg, rolls through into a sharpshooter. Granted, he did fall over, and he was struggling mightily to get this thing locked in.
It's kind of mad.
The fact that he caught him in midair and got into good enough position, that was cool.
Now, this was after a barricade spot as well.
Yeah, that catch in midair, and even though it was a little sloppy when he was trying to stand up into the sharpshooter, I thought the transition into it from the coup de grace was the coolest thing on the show.
Well, my favorite part about that was actually what happened right after that, where both men really were selling their exhaustion. Mm-hmm. You know, Punk was really selling that Balor took him to his limit. You know, and in a way that I don't know if I've seen out of Punk in that way, you know, where he kind of almost, without the handshake, kind of revered Balor's efforts as an equal just from them staggering and selling how exhausted they both were before he hit that final GTS. So I thought that was really good storytelling without having to do any of the handshake stuff they did after that. Most of which I skipped.
It's the thing with CM Punk where he sells matches and realism better than anybody else since maybe Bret Hart. Like, you visibly see how tired he is wrestling a match, depending on who his opponent is, and how much of an effort it is putting on his body. And you're right, especially with those facial reactions and the way he was looking at Finn Balor like, oh, this was a way tougher fight than I thought it would be.
Yeah, which I think is also going to help in the face turn that they're clearly pushing Finn towards.
We think.
I hope.
We hope.
I hope.
Remember, this is WWE we're talking about.
No, you're right. You're right.
Too carried away here.
Chad Gable
I did read a rumor that they are planning on turning him face with the plan to have him wrestle against Dom Mysterio for his title.
Well, that would require them breaking up the Judgment Day, and they've been teasing that for like 27 years.
Well,
not gonna lie, there was a thing earlier in our chat maybe a week or two ago where we were talking about past segments we've done, and we mentioned how years ago we were talking about breaking up the Judgment Day, and it's been an ongoing joke with us. When is the time finally gonna happen where the Judgment Day breaks up?
It's been nearly 4 years. It's been nearly 4 years now.
Like, between them and the Bloodline, which stable is going to survive the heat death of the universe?
Well, it depends on how many Samoans keep breeding. So
it's going to be the Bloodline because there's always going to be Samoans.
Yeah.
There's gonna army.
Horny fuckers.
That's right. Well, that's but anyway, but the match itself, it was great. You know, but sadly at the end of it, I said, if only this show and company weren't so cookie cutter, where I wouldn't have to use 1.5 speed and skip most of the ads, so I could really revere the fact that I enjoyed 3 out of the 4 matches on this show.
Yep.
But I just can't.
I don't blame you.
And it's sad.
Well, they give you a reason why after this match.
Well, we got a segment first.
That's what I'm talking about.
Full disclosure, I skipped this because I'm good.
Okay, so at first, I groaned like hell because obviously this was spoiled for me before I saw it. Yo ho, yo ho. And I thought it was stupid, and it is stupid in my opinion. But then I realized it's not for me. It's for the children's, and that's what they want. Is they want to sell the children's, and that. But this.
Whoa. Out of context, Sean.
That's, well, you know what? Hey, where's the precedent been set on this podcast? Don't you point the finger at me now, an hour and 10 minutes into this.
End up on the Epstein list, isn't it?
I was about to say, the E in WWE stands for Epstein.
Well, there's still, we don't know. That could very well be the case. We'll see where things unredact. If they unredact.
For here selling children.
Yeah. But in any way, what was not in the box, the children were not in the box. Well, they kind of look like children, but anyway.
I'm putting ads on this video, by the way.
So good luck with that. Well, and the box opens, and it's a coffin, and both general managers go, "Oh," and the box opens, and these 6 girls jump out and start doing the Thriller dance. They're out there, and out comes Danhausen, and the crowd goes.
No, Sean, the crowd was actively booing it.
I didn't hear any boos. I heard just nothing.
It was full boos from the people in attendance. Like, they booed the shit out of Danhausen.
They wanted Chris Jericho, and they received not Chris Jericho.
And the reason why it wasn't caught on the mics is that they turned the mics off.
Oh, so maybe whatever my version of it didn't get him. I was gonna say I didn't hear it.
No, they turned the mics off because they got booed the hell out of there.
So he comes into the ring, and these 6 girls are still Thriller dancing all the way down, and they entered the ring, and they're still doing these like claws, like we're gonna get you. And he's wearing a vampire cape. He gets into the ring and he does the pose, and there's this puff of smoke that comes up in the front of the apron, and the lights go out, and for 5 seconds, and then everything comes back up, and it's gone. Am I fucking hallucinating? What the fuck? What the fuck was this?
Why would they do this on pay-per-view?
This turn from this John Cena heel turn to Danhausen coming out of a box, inside of a box. You want to talk about a hat on a hat gimmick.
We now have a box inside of a box.
I'm pretty sure that's a Card Against Humanity card.
We have Russian nesting Danhausen.
Well, there's this is the old adage of anything that comes out of a box is over. Does it count if it comes out of a coffin that's inside of a box? Is the coffin over? Is it maybe if it was just the... So we may have disproven this theory here tonight.
Oh my God, there's a reason why I fast forwarded through all of this nonsense.
I thought
I'm not even joking. I heard about everything that happened. I didn't watch it, and I was watching the show with my mom. I fast forwarded through this because I didn't want to explain it to my mom because I would have been embarrassed.
And that's how I kind of feel about this. I mean, all the thing is about that. I think truthfully, I thought it was funny as fuck. When it started, and because it was like the biggest laxative in church reaction you could have possibly gotten for somebody like this. And why would you debut him here like this For what? Leading up to WrestleMania. What is the reason? How is this helping anything at all? And it's just so funny. It's funny to me. I don't know. It gave me a laugh.
Can you imagine watching this live with someone who doesn't watch wrestling and even attempting to explain this to them?
And hearing his cartoony-ass theme. You want to talk about bad themes. His theme sounds like people are drunk at a carnival. And it is...
I mean, that is most carnivals.
I know, but if you want to do that, go watch Vince Russo's Juggalo Championship Wrestling. Russolo Championship Wrestling is what they should call it now. You can have that one. You can have that one. It's all yours. But in any case, this was an all-time bad. This was gobbledygooker bad. But at least the gobbledygooker was at least. No, this was gobbledygooker bad. That's where we are with that. But that's where the final hour took a sharp turn, and it began Hausen with Danhausen.
I would say so. Like we were. I wouldn't say we were rocking and rolling, but the show was fine. And then Danhausen came out of a coffin that was also in a box with 6 women.
And then the show buried itself. Yes. And the new Nitro girls, the 6 vampirettes that the Danhausen came with him. And what? Why? What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Who's he gonna wrestle?
I told you, Truthhausen.
It's oh god.
Okay, I can
You're
see
so
it now.
right.
They're gonna win the tag team titles.
Which ones and who cares? And
I think you answered your own question, Sean.
yeah, well, let's move on to the men's chamber. Let's.
Can we talk about Danhausen more?
No, actually, I do, because there's a couple things that did come out of this. Apparently, they wanted to sign him since July of last year, but AEW froze his contract because they're being dicks.
I wish they had frozen it longer.
Why are both of these companies fighting over this guy?
Well, that's another thing, too, is that there were some people in WWE that did not want to sign Danhausen, and this was far from unanimous decision. And lastly, apparently Dave Meltzer compared it to the gobbledygooker.
Oh.
A broken clock can sometimes be right at least once a day.
Yeah, this may be worse than the gobbledygooker.
Yeah, at least the gobbledygooker was like at Survivor Series and not on the road to WrestleMania, not in a WrestleMania lead-up.
Gobbledygooker also got like
yeah,
5 seconds of a positive reaction first. Danhausen did not.
And also, like, at least we knew right away it was an egg and it was stupid. This was a coffin inside of a box. It could have been used to debut somebody that actually, like, mattered. Even if it wasn't Chris Jericho, could you imagine if they debuted any other person with a gimmick that could have worked like that?
Couldn't you have just made this
They
Joe
wasted
Hendry?
time on Raw and SmackDown with a box being set and forth between the two companies with the 2 general managers. Like, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with this. Like, just do the thing already. Get it over with.
I can't believe I'm saying this because of how cringy I think Shawn Michaels made the gimmick a little bit. Not that I hate what Shawn Michaels is doing, but I thought it made the gimmick cringy. But couldn't this? I mean, if you wanted to debut somebody, have Pierce and Aldis complain or something like, I don't know what's in the box. You tell me what's in the box. You know what's in the box. I don't know. What do you think's going to come out? Joe Hendry? And then do that. And then have that be here. And then he's on the main roster. And then he can have a match against Dolph Ziggler, whoever they've got as Captain Gatekeeper nowadays. And
The Miz.
Like, Dolph Ziggler's not even in the
The
company
Miz.
anymore.
You're right. It would be The Miz.
And funnily enough, they already did that on SmackDown several months ago.
Yeah, and where's Joe Hendry now? Still in NXT.
Not in the box.
Yeah, now he's the NXT champion, right? So, like,
Yeah.
What?
yeah.
Yeah, you didn't know Joe Hendry won the NXT title.
He would have...
I don't care. I just what?
Dude, how perfect would that have been then? Because then he could have called somebody out, and then it would have made something matter, and Joe Hendry could have... God... Fucking Danhausen.
Why are we having better ideas than WWE at this point?
Should we just reboot ACPW and NWL?
We've been doing better ideas of this podcast for years and years now, Joshua. Don't pretend that we're suddenly better at this.
I'm just saying it's sad with this administration because we had so much hope. We were sold a bill of goods.
I know. And now we're back
Well,
to...
they delivered the goods, at least for a year. Again, we started this podcast because we were frustrated with wrestling, and we wanted to give our opinions, our takes, and what we would do in order to make it better. Honestly, this is giving credence to maybe me and Sean reviving NWL versus ACPW.
I've literally thought about that this week. I'm like, do I go back and see what... I mean, I was listening back to it recently, like, this shit ain't bad. I mean, it's got fake Diesel in it and Santina, but it ain't bad.
You're welcome.
Dude,
honestly, WrestleMania 40 was like having an orgasm, and then you're just still humping whoever, like, even though your dick hurts for the next 2 years. That's WWE. You're still humping, nothing's coming out, and it hurts.
No, that's...
No. We're clearly in the smoke break afterwards.
Yeah, no, post-nut clarity has set in here. And that's the way I've been describing it to the wrestling fans I know around me, is that we are in such vast post-nut clarity from WrestleMania 40, and it hurts. Now we've got a kidney stone.
Does lead to the men's chamber match.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I do like Trick Williams. I do like Trick Williams, so I'm happy to see him here, and I think that he's going to end up being a world's champion in this company at some point, and he should be.
If they don't fuck him up.
If they don't fuck him up, which is also always possible. Speaking of, here comes No Way Knight, who got the...
Okay, there were things... When I saw this match...
And he got the pop of the night.
When this match started, and I already knew it was coming, because I saw the spoilers, and I knew that you hadn't seen the show yet, there were multiple things about this match where I was like, this men's chamber match was designed to cause Sean as much pure agony as humanly possible. For starters, do you know how long, because people clocked it, do you know how long it took all of these people to get to the ring before the match even started?
I didn't time it because it was at 1.5 speed, but Javon Evans took a hot minute.
It took 17 minutes for all of these people to get in there for the match to start. Because they did this a little bit in the women's chamber too, but it wasn't as egregiously offensive. What they would do is they would get into the chamber and walk around and have to do something to every pod.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It annoyed the shit out of me, particularly here. It's like, can we not take a minute to have like a stare down with every damn body? Can we just move this along a little bit? Even at 1.5 speed.
All of them, it was worse in the men's, like before the men's match could even start, because it was just non-stop. And I'm like, is this ever going to start? Where I'm going to listen to my friend Sean. Where's that 1.5 speed button? Dear God. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a match with entrances that took this long. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, and it ended up being kind of the highlight of the match, too.
So just a brief, just my thoughts on the match overall. I liked the first half. The second half was a disaster. Kind of like the show. This match had a Danhausen moment where everything went downhill.
Once everybody got into the ring, it kind of ended there.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. It's
because it was the first half. It was good. It wasn't like amazing. It was kind of like where the women's chamber was building and building and building. The men's chamber, it was building and building and building. And at a point, they did the Steve Austin driving into a wall.
Yep. Well, but thank God the Vision bought every black hoodie in the entire Walmart connection in Chicago. As we will see those later.
Well,
to be honest, considering all this stuff and me reading the spoilers from Monday Night Raw, You guys are gonna love the opening segment.
I'm afraid. I am deathly afraid.
Well, as Javon Williams comes in and says, I'm nervous.
And then Michael Cole started laughing at him, and I'm like, Michael Cole, you of all people,
You have
right
no position.
You have no right to laugh at anyone for getting a name wrong.
But I genuinely thought, because I smoke a lot of weed, I genuinely thought that I had to stop at 1.5 speed. I had to stop and go back and like, wait, no, he said Javon Evans, right? And then Javon Williams. Oh, dude, fucking Mark.
Halfway through the Williams, you could tell he knew.
No.
He kind of trailed off.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, Mark Nash, why?
Oh, you sound like you're crying all the time. That's something you should have been crying about.
Yeah, he has a reason to cry about it now.
Yeah. Well, but then right after that, as everyone gets in the ring, Michael Cole goes, the eliminations occur by tap out or count out. Go into the corner, Cole, and think about what you just said.
Go into the pod.
People with glass houses should not throw stones. As
people in glass pods cannot throw chairs.
Yes. Oh God, no! Boy, Michael Cole already had a glass pod. That was the worst time of Michael Cole. No, we don't need that shit at all. No more of that, please. No more of that.
Put him in the coal mine and ship the coal mine to Antarctica.
That's right, and don't give him a laptop.
No, and don't do a pay-per-view in Antarctica.
Yeah, well,
because even the penguins will be silent.
Well, but while we're speaking and complaining about things, what is with the shadow in the middle of the fucking ring with this chamber? It happened last year too, where just like in the middle of taunting or in the center of the ring, there's this giant streak of shadow from something, some light blocking this. And if you can get CCTV cameras into this chamber, why can't you put some lights in it to prevent this?
Especially considering this also happened in Australia too, when they did the Elimination Chamber there. And at the time we thought, oh, okay, it's clearly just the shadow of the sun going down that's causing it. This is happening in an indoor arena.
The pods are illuminated, for Christ's sakes, and you can't get some shadows. Like, you can't get a couple of riffas to clear those shadows out of there. I don't know.
These people are determined to drive us insane with stuff like this.
I don't understand.
It's because this is the worldwide leader in sports entertainment, allegedly, and they should have the best production company, allegedly, and they don't.
Nope, because they're a bunch of morons.
No, sadly they do, because everybody else is on a different level of suckage. So they have the most money and they do produce the best, even though it's bad. Bad is the best in the wrestling business.
Yeah.
That's the sad reality of that. But anyway.
This garbage is the best we've got.
Anyway, Cody and Javon Williams go start things off, and then Trick Williams comes in, or Trick Evans, maybe we should call him. Whoop that Evans, am I right?
Oh God.
Evans.
As anyway. Javon is dynamic as fuck. I gotta give credit to that dude, man. If lipstick in my Valentino bag.
I knew you were going to say that.
I know, because every time I jumble my words, that's the only way I can recenter my brain. That's like a reset button. That's
your Vine factory reset.
It really
button.
does. It really does allow me to reset and restart the thought.
Because only Triple H's booking had a Vine factory reset button.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, I wish. But I will say, right as they were mentioning the similarities between Trick Williams and Booker, I was just about to say myself, like, you know, he reminds me a lot of Booker T, because he does. Mm-hmm. And it's not just like, he's still his own personality. It's not like he's trying to be Booker. It's not like Dolph Ziggler, who is just like Shadow Shawn Michaels. Mm-hmm. You know, it was more, he's got his own personalities and style and flair, but you could still see Booker T's influence on him.
Speaking of, he did a double bookend, and Michael Cole called it a double choke slam, and I wanted to murder Michael Cole all over again.
Yeah. And then Logan Paul comes in fourth. People really love hating that dude.
So, in this match, to the detriment of the match, because he just kept winning and eliminating people.
Which I thought was kind of funny at first, but
the more it happened, the sadder the crowd got, and the more the crowd gave up.
Well, no, because this is why it got sad. Because number 5 is No Way Knight. As then No Way Knight gives Trick Williams the BFT, or no, it was Javon Evans, I think, the BFT on the pod where neither head hit anything because they were like, the pod wasn't big enough to take the impact of the move. So, like, everything from their chest up was just dangling over the side. And they were like, oh, what a BFT. It was devastating on top of there where the point of impact that's supposed to be hit nothing.
Yeah.
It would not be Knight's worst on the night. But
I feel I'm at the point where I'm like, oh, this poor guy. This poor fucking guy.
I just don't feel anymore for him. I am emotionally numb to this man who gets the pop of the night every time, but he's not doing himself any fucking favors when he's not landing his BFT where there's impact happening and then he slips off the rope. I mean, thankfully he saved himself with trying to do boots, but the whole crowd was like, fuck, man, we're trying to root for you.
Dude, we'll get to that, but first I want to say, like, when Randy Orton came out and he was going wild, and I loved the double drape. I love it whenever he does a double draping DDT. That never fails to get a reaction from the crowd.
Vintage Randy Orton.
Indeed. And so we were rocking and rolling a little bit, and then Logan Paul, I was fine with this first elimination. He eliminated Javon Evans with the most disgusting-looking pulverizer of all time. He murdered this young man.
And right after he did that, I said, angle with the door? No, not yet. No, continue.
Yeah. And then we got to the moment where I was like, Sean, I both feel bad for you whenever you watch this, and I also can't wait for you to watch this, because first off, Randy charges LA Knight in the corner, and LA Knight gets a foot up, and then Randy Orton does the most overly exaggerated back flop bump that actually made me snicker a little bit. And then LA Knight, you have got to stop jumping up to the ropes. Because sometimes you do the jump up superplex and it looks great. Other times you and Sheamus both go flying out of the ring. He tries to go for his pop-up elbow and he slips on the ropes, and the entire crowd goes, oh. And I was like, oh no. Like, yeah, he recovered and stomped and just did an elbow.
Matter. Didn't matter.
And if you look closely, you can see Randy Orton dying laughing in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck. He was like, yeah, good job, you fucking idiot. It's not your fault, but...
Not only that, he botches, gets low blowed, and rolled up and pinned. And I'm just dying. I am literally convulsing with laughter. Just quit. This could not have been worse.
The
botch low blow roll up. Goodbye.
The question is, how do you botch a low blow?
No. He botched the ropes. He botched jumping up to the ropes for his elbow, then the low blow, then the roll up. And I was just like, the triple whammy of suck.
You know.
No, but the reason why I say that is just like a botch into a low blow. Like, that is, if that is not LA Knight's career, I don't know what is.
It was honestly, at the second LA Knight slipped on the ropes, this match died.
Go to TNA, dude.
Yeah.
Go to TNA. I said it from as far back as Money in the Bank, and I will run that victory lap into the fucking ground, because I've called this from that moment that was it. There was no shot it was happening after that. And this entire calendar year almost that has gotten us to this point, we are only we're 9 months. And this baby has long been aborted. And so just go somewhere else. Just I swear to God, it hurts me seeing you on television at this point. Go somewhere else.
Loser abortion night.
As this is just, it's never gonna happen. Don't look for it. There's no point in looking for it. Most likely he's gonna job to Austin Theory at WrestleMania's pre-show. So at this point, it's not even worth investing the thought of liking him anymore. So
up to this point, though, I was enjoying the match, and this is where it just started to fall apart, because this was the second time that Logan Paul eliminated someone, and that was one more person than the crowd could tolerate. Because then Cody Rhodes hits a crossroads on Trick, and then Logan Paul gets a third elimination, and now the crowd is just like, fuck this match.
Now, here's the thing. This is where the injuries hurt the match in particular. This was supposed to be Bronson Reed.
So change it.
But do you know the reason why they kept it the way they did?
Because they're idiots?
Because they wanted Logan Paul to remain strong, so that way if they have to do Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins at Mania as the backup, they're able to do that.
If anything, I've been hearing rumors that it'll be Seth and LA Knight, funnily enough, versus Logan Paul and Austin Theory in a tag team match, which I would be kind of down for that.
The thing that they wanted is that they wanted someone from the Vision who would be able to wrestle Seth Rollins and credibly have a chance against him, and they needed him to look good, and this is the alternative they came up with.
Well, it killed the match. Congratulations, guys.
Here's the thing. How can you expect to be when Bronson Reed, who's supposed to get a big push, gets injured literally a week before the pay-per-view? Like, God damn it.
How do you create a faction and the three main guys in it, one right after another, injury? Just WWE in 2026, ladies and gentlemen. It's a disaster.
And you know, the funny thing is I thought that him pushing Cody into the ring post and stealing the pin, that was my favorite of the three. That was the more Logan Paul. That was good heel stuff. I'm like, all right, I'm behind that one. But the crowd was like...
The crowd was like, we like booing you, but we don't like seeing you continue to win.
The crowd's ego was also hurt.
If you want him to be a heel, he needs to be successful.
Yeah, I mean,
the crowd didn't like it, though.
The crowd didn't like it.
The crowds.
But
the crowd liked Danhausen one time, so trust me, okay?
Not this time, though. Not this time, though.
No. But this is where I was like, I gave up on this match. Because then...
Oh, but it was just about to get good, JoshAgeddon.
No. Because, okay, this was just so bad it was funny. Because they did not act like, while they were hauling Trick Evans' ass out of the chamber, they kept this door open for like the rest of the night.
The whole rest of the match. It never shut again.
Not once did anyone try to close the door.
Nope. And then Hoodies Are Us comes in.
Oh, angle alert.
Yep.
So we get Black Hoodie Guy number 1.
Yes, as soon as the third or fourth man eliminated in the Elimination Chamber is always a paraplegic for about 6 to 8 minutes, as he is then impossible to get out of the ring.
Like, we cannot have a men's Elimination Chamber match without this nonsense where the door is wide open and someone interferes. They did this with Logan Paul at the Elimination Chamber in 2023. They did this with AJ Styles in 2024, who literally flew all the way from America to Australia just to cost, who would have guessed it, LA Knight the match. At least last year they had Seth Rollins get eliminated but not leave yet. At least they changed it a little bit last year, but back to the same old tried and true this year. So we have ski mask, black outfit, number 845 doofus over here. And even my mom was like, why did it take all of their security to just remove this one guy? Even my mom was like, this is stupid.
You know what's going to be the most secure job in wrestling? being a member of the security guard union. It doesn't matter how bad of a job you do, you'll always have the job.
Yeah, the only more ironclad job in WWE is the guy who shops for black hoodies. That dude's gonna be employed for fucking life. At this rate, they've got one every show. They must have backups for every show.
And then Seth Rollins came in with his black hoodie and mask, and I just started dying laughing because I was like, they made this despite Sean. Sean has been whining and complaining, justifiably so, about the non-stop black hoodies for months now. We got one on the show before this on SmackDown, and we don't just get one on this show. We get two. They're increasing the amount of black hoodie people on the program. Seth comes in, stomps Logan Paul. He gets eliminated. Seth Rollins, I'll give them credit. He took the mask off, and he got like one of the best pops of the night because it's Seth Rollins.
Because they were also like, because also the fans were like, fuck this match. I'd rather cheer Seth than this whole fucking match. Fine.
And meanwhile, Paul Heyman outside is having to pretend to be shocked.
He was literally, I'm like, check your pulse, Paul. Like, calm down.
My favorite part was they showed a replay of Paul Heyman, the moment where it was like, oh, I have to act now. And he just immediately got into, oh my God!
Yeah.
He was neutral and then on the brink of having an aneurysm in like no time flat. That was funny. And then, if this wasn't ludicrous and stupid enough, the door is still open, by the way.
Because Trick Williams is still a paraplegic.
This show sucks. For like an hour, I'm just like, can someone close the chamber door? No, we have to have everyone on the roster interfere.
As Drew hits Cody in the back of the head, and then Orton goes, fuck you, Drew, and hits him, and then Cody hits him, and then Orton hits Cody with an RKO, and Randy wins, which was nice. I'm glad that Randy won.
I like the last 10 seconds. I love that, like, it was like boom, boom, boom. RKO on Drew, Crossroads on Drew, immediate RKO on Cody, 1, 2, 3. That I liked. The 10 minutes before that was absolute garbage.
And the four-way that they seem to be teasing is not something I'm looking forward to.
Honestly, if they wanted to do the thing, do Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton at Mania, have Cody Rhodes wrestle Jacob Fatu at Mania, and have Jacob win.
Here's the problem. Here's what I'm afraid they're going to do. I mean, if they don't do the fatal four-way, which is my assumption, but their backup idea here, they have already scheduled a world title match between Drew and Cody this SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
And I fully expect Cody to win that match.
I won't be surprised.
I 100% expect Cody to win that match because Jacob Fatu's going to cost Drew McIntyre. So I'm partially thinking that they may shift gears and do Drew versus Fatu in a one-on-one match and then have Randy and Cody be the main event of one of the WrestleManias, which is arguably a bigger drawing match. But they're also stupid, so I'm expecting a fatal four-way.
It's honestly, I would rather have the four-way than have Cody win the title again, because we had all this hoopla about Drew McIntyre finally winning the belt at 3 Stages of Hell, and now we're just going to give it back to Cody on SmackDown so we can finally. We have been deprived of having Cody and Randy Orton in a big time program, and we're finally going to get it by them rushing to do it right before WrestleMania. No.
And also, let's be honest, okay? Like, Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton is a good match, but you have other matches you can do before that one, right?
Cody and Randy needs a longer build, not just, all of our plans blew up again. Let's just do it at the last second, which is what this would be.
But that's the thing. They're panicking about the lack of WrestleMania ticket sales. So I'm sure they're thinking, what are money matches that will make us money so that we can have money for future money to have money? And so while they have that mentality, there is a case to be made that Cody and Orton is the bigger match. And I love Drew dearly, but there is an argument to be made that that will sell more tickets because of the history. As rushed as it is, as bad as the build would be, at this stage, with the amount of injuries that they have had with their future stars, I would not be surprised to see that be the fallback. But
you already have like CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, and you already have Jade Cargill, which is Ripley, which on its own could be a match that main events of WrestleMania night. You don't need more.
I don't know if I would put Jade. I don't know if I would put Jade in the main event spot.
Yeah, that was an odd example to use. I mean, Rhea, yeah, but I don't think Rhea and Jade would do that. I would be more assuming of Triple H that he put Liv Morgan in that position. And
honestly, I would rather have Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquer main event one of the nights than Jade.
But
Jade's not ready.
But to me, this feels like they wouldn't have booked Drew and Cody on a SmackDown match after they had all of that hoopla before if Drew's just gonna beat him. I don't think that's the case. They might do a disqualification finish or something. They might do a schmoz.
Oh, Joshua's favorite.
Yeah,
well, honestly, like at this point, I don't. Who fucking cares at this point? But either Cody's winning the belt and we're getting Cody and Randy at Mania, or there's going to be some kind of non-finish and we're getting a 4-way. Like, honestly, it's 50-50 either way.
So you're saying that Drew McIntyre is not going to win clean?
What I'm saying is there's a 50-50 shot of it going either way, and Drew McIntyre beating Cody clean is not happening.
It's not happening. That is not happening.
So I shouldn't bet the farm?
No. I am interested to see which one they pick. I'm going to be sad if it's Cody and Orton one-on-one because that deserves a better build than what we're going to get.
Yeah.
Honestly, considering all the blowing up of the plans and the reshuffling and the injuries and whatnot, I would rather have the 4-way because they've already been doing issues with Cody, Jacob, and Drew for months now. At least that has a build. Cody and Randy does not have a build. It has history that deserves a build, but it's not going to get a build.
No, it probably won't get a build, which is unfortunate. They'll try to bum rush it. Well, then again, we've got 2 months basically before WrestleMania. It's not at the beginning of April like it always was. We've got they've got 6 more weeks for them to do nothing between now and then. So,
Sean,
6 weeks of them of either Cody not being on the show or Randy not being on the show. We have the Friday night SmackDown right before WrestleMania.
But before we get to ratings, we have one more segment of Skylar's. Now, Skylar, you said you had some spoilers from Raw?
No, we're not going to talk about it.
Oh, come on, Sky. Come on. What happened? Okay. Tell me about what happened on Raw, Skylar. Go ahead.
No, that's an oldie but a goldie.
They had the vision of Paul Heyman, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory open the show, and they had not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 guys in black hoodies interrupt them.
Okay, you know what? Here's the thing. I was going to say this before because I've been constantly bitching about this, but they have now turned this into a bit. They've turned this into a gimmick. So I think despite us saying that we didn't think Triple H listened to us anymore, I think now he doesn't like us. He used to take our shit, and now he's like, you know what? You're gonna bitch about this so much. I'm gonna give you you know what? Next, by the time WrestleMania comes around, there's gonna be 50 dudes in black hoodies all showing up.
It's gonna be a Royal Rumble match. 30 people, all of them wearing black hoodies.
Yeah. So it's
and we get who the winner is at the end of the show.
We have gone completely around, and we have turned heel in the eyes of WWE management.
Yes.
It's all starting to make sense now. It's all starting to make sense.
That is insane.
That's funny as fuck, actually. I think that's really good.
Oh my God.
That's really good.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, is that I don't like that because the last time we had a bunch of people in black hoodies doing something for no reason, we had Retribution.
Oh, I was thinking Muhammad Hassan, but yeah, go ahead.
I was also thinking Muhammad Hassan.
If they bring back Muhammad Hassan, You know what? Bring back Muhammad Hassan. He's the real Vision.
John, given what's happening in the Middle East right now, no, we are not referencing anything.
But he's Italian. He's Italian. What's the problem?
Okay,
man.
anyways, can I do my rating so I can go get dinner?
Yeah, let's go to ratings. This has been a fun podcast for an absolute nothing show that we've watched.
Because there's nothing sacred. There's nothing to care about the show. This is a joke show made by a joke company that doesn't know how to make good, entertaining professional wrestling anymore. And the worst part is that they easily can. They had 3 good matches, and none of us care because the rest of the half of that show was complete and utter dog shit. And you can't tell me otherwise. Bret Hart this thing, 4 out of 10. Fuck you.
Honestly, yeah, what Skylar just said, they're a bunch of idiots. They had 3 good matches, and then they ruined it with the rest of the show with Danhausen coming out of a coffin, coming out of a box. And then we had we had LA Knight, the passion of LA Knight's booking. And then we had the cage door open for 3 days. With an army of black hoodie people ruining the match, and then Drew McIntyre coming. This company is stupid. Why do we ever have faith in this company? The reason why we're having so much fun is because we're 3 dumbasses talking about wrestling. I'm not gonna go as low as Skylar because even when it got really stupid, I was at least laughing. But yeah, this company has no soul anymore. This company is bereft of passion. This whole show feels like Triple H has thrown his hands up in the air. His headset has flown across the room like when Brock Lesnar tried to take Vince McMahon's head off with the Universal title after WrestleMania 34. He's just saying, you know what? I give up. I don't care anymore. I was entertained. I thought that the first 3 matches were good/fine, and the rest of the show was at least a funny disaster. I'm giving this show a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, I concur. Honestly, I agree with Joshua, really. I mean, I went actually a little higher because because I sped everything up. You know, if I really was looking at it objectively, which obviously I can't possibly because this is a subjective rating, but if I was trying to look at it from a more objective lens, I should take points out for the incessant ads, which then permeated into the commentary mid-match. You know, yeah. I should be mad at that the production was as bad as it was, where lighting was off and commentary was bad and the announcers fucking up black people names. And yeah, he didn't fuck up any of the white people, just saying. And it's just
that bit actually goes deeper than you realize. Like a lot of people on WWE, like announcing and commentary, they don't call her Jade Cargill, they call her Jade Cargill.
Yeah.
Like gargling Listerine.
Well, but you know, it's easy to find things to hate about this show and about this program. But because it's so lifeless, I don't feel like I'm missing out skipping all that. You know, I'm now at the point where I'm just cherry picking. And I don't mind cherry picking because cherries are rather small and I get the doses that I like and I can leave the rest. But I kind of agree with Joshua. The first 3 matches I really liked. You know, there were some, picadillos, of course, but all things considered for what WWE is, which is 4 matches for their shows that aren't WrestleMania or SummerSlam, 3 out of 4 matches being good is better than average. And I will take that. And the funny thing is, we just had a mess housing of a final hour. It just, that last hour just went cliffside.
Yes.
But the way it used to be is that we'd get 1 good match and the rest of the match was shit. Having 1 bad hour and the rest of the show be all right, I'll still take those odds, even though the vibes arguably have never been worse. It's a very weird time to be watching wrestling, especially in the capacity that we do. But
we're like over a year in with the post-nut clarity. It's not wearing on. It's concerning.
And it's very strange. But with that said, I was actually a little more generous than the both of you. Because I was entertained and there was some laughably funny shit. You know, it's now getting to the point where it's laughable. And it is a joke. And it does, and if you can make me laugh, I'll work with you at least a little bit, somewhat, because this company has just broken my brain. 7 out of 10. But this is a generous 7 out of 10. But let's see.
I feel like both of you are being very generous to this company, and you shouldn't be.
Let's see what WrestleMania is, though. Let's see what they do with this. Because that's really what we judge wrestling and WWE on, is how they finish, even if their stories are crap, leading up to the main event. Let's see how they handle the main event. And then we'll reassess.
Here's the thing, though, is that, like, we're talking about a show that's in the same location it was last year and doesn't have nearly as much energy as it did the year before. And WrestleMania 41 was not a great WrestleMania. No.
And if it sucks, I'll be happy to say that it sucks, because I got a lot of other fun stuff with wrestling that I'm doing, which, speaking of, I mean, if you haven't already subscribed to the Court-Martail podcast, please do, as that is the last little piece we've got there of our multimedia empire, is, of course, the CMP and the TAP on TAW Gaming. Just a small, last, final second plug for both channels here, because there is a lot of exciting things that we do, including the trivia that we've done, and a trivia that's coming up that Skylar is homebrewing. So stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. And while I do agree with you, Sky, that we are going to have to be critical, I think that we have to re-lower the bar that we raised in order to reset the standard for Triple H's WWE. We got to put it back down to where it was before.
And isn't that a sad state
And
of
it is
affairs?
sad. That's the most depressing part about this. Danhausen is like WWE trying to stoop down to AEW level, to the point where I don't even blame AEW anymore if this is the direction that WWE wants to take the state of wrestling. It's hard to blame Tony when WWE is getting infected by the same brain rot.
Yeah. I can't disagree with any of that.
And an exoneration of Tony Khan is the last thing I ever wanted to fucking say on this podcast, so I think it's a good time to end it there. That you done fucked up, WWE. We'll be right back right after this.